What's going on, guys? Time for another update on the grinder prototype assembly, and I'm very happy to report that this thing is essentially done, minus a few very minor details, maybe some tweaks and tuning here and there. And I may remake a couple of parts and pieces like these tool arms. I may swap out with aluminum. I think the brackets I want to remake just so that they bottom out flush with these wheels. And then I want to clean the whole thing up, and eventually I'd like to do a series of videos just overviewing or reintroducing kind of the different features and functions I've designed into this thing. I think we got a little bit of a unique machine here, although a lot of the ideas were inspired by other machines and other makers. Mick Strider gets the credit for the over-center cam assembly. John Grimsmo, he made one. The work rest system was primarily inspired by Chris Williams, although I kind of put my own twist and spin on that and made it a bit more unique, I think. And the overall design was pretty much my own, although it may be reminiscent of some other machines too. But overall, I'm very happy with how it came out, and I think we got a really good and functional and very versatile machine. And I really can't wait to start using this, putting it to the test, and just kind of proving it's worth here in the shop. Definitely going to be an upgrade from the no-weld grinder, which has served me well and will continue to serve me, I'm sure, in some capacity. But again, I think for the most part we're going to call this done, and hopefully there'll be some overview and introduction videos coming up within the next week or two, kind of showing this thing in action. But just to show you kind of what I've been working on since the last update, pretty much got all my accessories mounted. Show you that down there. I got my 8-inch Beaumont contact wheel for my no-weld grinder, as well as a small wheel attachment mounted to some aluminum tool arms. And also kind of revamped the work rest system for those two items specifically. And then I went ahead and mounted that big gargantuan table to a piece of 3/4 cold roll. And the idea behind this table, it's really just a straightforward, heavy-duty, general use table. No real bells and whistles, although I'm sure it can be, adjusted, a little bit here and there. Originally I thought about putting it on like one of these Beaumont style kind of quick tool rests things that will slide into here. Or I think about it, I don't think I'm really even going to ever use this. I might use it for something else in the shop. But I like this system quite a bit more, I think. And it's just as convenient, if not more so. So mounts like this, in this configuration, the bottom tool slot, you can raise and lower it a couple inches. You get the full 8 inches of this flat platen, and you can even go a little bit lower if you want till it hits the frame. Somewhere about there. It's probably a little bit too big for most things, but sometimes having a little bit extra workspace really isn't that bad of a thing. Especially if you're deburring or grinding on something, maybe wanting to square up. Something like a tool arm here. You got a whole lot more table to keep that flat, to keep it square. As long as you make sure everything's square to begin with. So just a little bit more convenient in certain applications. Another thing you can do, you can actually have an even longer table. Just using it like this. You can use the edge of the table. You can also use this little crossbar here. And let's see here. Still kind of getting to know this whole system here. It's kind of like almost like an erector set, I guess, and its versatility. Like Lincoln Logs or something, you kind of build whatever you want with it. But doing this, you can kind of center up that table. You got a nice long squared up table now. And that can kind of be rotated in. So, you know, not as versatile maybe as the other rests and systems, but, you know, then again, maybe it is. So plenty of options there. We'll go ahead and take this out. Show you some of the other things I was working on. So I'm going to take this flat platen out. As I mentioned, kind of had to revamp the work rest system for the small wheel and the 8-inch contact wheel since they stick out so much further. And I'll show you, this is about where this ends up with the belt, where you can tension it well. And as you can see, you know, even with this, it's not quite far enough out to get in front of this wheel. And, you know, if you wanted to do that, you just fall right out. So obviously want enough tool rest in there that it's not going to fall out and bust your toe. So the solution I came up with, and it actually ended up working out quite a bit better and adding a lot of versatility, kind of a happy accident, if you will. But I made this little auxiliary or secondary accessory arm here, which can go either in the top like so, or in the bottom, and it's just connected with some 1/2-inch 3/8 bolts. It really doesn't need knobs because it doesn't need to be adjusted any more than that. It's still very versatile. But it'll go in like this, and then your tool rest will be used as normal, kind of in this system here. Lower this rod there, and you know, it seems like the more I use this, the more options I kind of figure out to do with it. And if you don't like those handles being in the way, you can actually swap it around like this. It's probably how it'll normally be used anyway, so plenty of room there. And yeah, the more I use this, it kind of becomes more intuitive. You get used to kind of the setups, and you can almost do anything with it, I think. So now we got a good work rest. You know, this can still be moved in. Lower that down a little bit. Moved in or out as far as you need it to. And if you want to do a fuller on a knife blade, or you know, just hollow out the edge of something, you know, you can set this up however you need to. And kind of the happy accident here, you can actually rotate this. You know, obviously this isn't going to rotate at all, as it wouldn't make any difference if it did. But if you want to rotate your table, just turn this 90 degrees. Take this out, stick it on like this real quick. We'll make sure all this is getting in frame. And now you pretty much got a full, really 360 degrees if you want it. Not that that'll help you with anything. But full rotation. Now if you want to raise this, you can either raise just the table like so, or loosening this up. You got quite a bit of extra versatility here. You can put this just about anywhere you want it. With this new tool arm accessory. So I'm really happy with how that came out. Just really adds all kinds of versatility to this. And now, just to show you quickly in the horizontal mode here, actually, we're going to rotate this back up. Take this table out, put our small wheel table in. We'll go ahead and flip this around to the other side. And you can kind of see how quickly all this sets up, and it really is pretty intuitive. Like I said, once you kind of start playing with it, you really get a feel for, you know, what needs to go where. we'll just knock that down there. We could actually raise it up a little bit. And then you can use your angle block or a square angle cube or a square or 1, 2, 3 block. You know, kind of get a rough 90 there. And there's your horizontal configuration for small wheel profiling. You know, you want to get inside a knife handle, folders. If you want to chamfer the edge, just rotate that like so. You can drop this down, and it really works quite nicely. Better than I would have expected there. So it might take a little bit to set up exactly how you want, but you know, now I can kind of break those corners. You know, if I want to raise that up a little bit, I can. Still got plenty of room to go in on the tool arm. So, you know, that's pretty much the system there. And, you know, I could show you the same thing for the contact wheel, but it'd be pretty redundant at this point, and I'm going to make a dedicated video anyway. But, you know, very nice and versatile system. Just a couple of pieces, really. And, you know, all of it comes out nice and easily. You can swap whatever kind of tables you want in there. You know, take these pieces in and out, set them aside, and you know, you're ready to go on to the next setup or accessory. So we'll go ahead and rotate this back up, lock that in. And, you know, I really haven't tried this on the flat flatten. We'll go ahead and maybe stick this in. And just as an example of kind of on-the-fly versatility here. You know, originally I really hadn't planned on making this where the tables could pivot, but using this accessory, I guess really you can now. So see, that tool arm may be bottomed out on that motor though now. So what we can do there, drop that in there, and then we'll make our adjustments from here. And you got a little bit of room to play. Maybe we want to go up here and go the other direction. Well, that's still a little bit long there, but you kind of get the idea. You know, you could even put another hole in here to shorten that up, and you know, kind of get the same idea. And these parts are all pretty readily available. You can make your own very easily. Just a 3/8 tap, 3/4 drill bit, pieces of plate, pieces of square bar, round bar. You know, it's all pretty cheap right off the shelf. So you know, I could make a little shorter accessory arm if I wanted. You know, kind of that same versatility here. You know, there's quite a few options I could do there. Another thing, I could just drill a 3/4 hole into that tool arm and, you know, mount it straight to the grinder, which may be something I'll try in the future. But at any rate, we're about 15 minutes on the video. I think that's long enough. I'll be doing some dedicated videos soon, but you guys kind of see where we're at with this. Appreciate any feedback, comments, questions, and we'll see you on the next one.